Welcome to Learned and Go-Go, the podcast. Hey, it is another Thursday night. I am your host, Sydney, and I am also the author of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, How a Preacher's Daughter Pole Danced Her Way to Finding Her True Self. And I hope you have had a fantastic week since the last time we met. It's been really weird where I am between either being super duper hot or rainy, and it feels like when you step outside, you're wearing a literal sweater because it's so gross outside. So I hope that things where you are haven't been as oppressive and that you're doing great. I already have, yay, Luna Projects is joining us tonight. Hey, beautiful yourself. I hope you are doing awesome and having a great Thursday. As usual, I'm hopping on here just trying to see where we're going to go. I don't really have a plan. I just love when you guys all hop on here with me and just join in the conversation. You are amazing, and I love all of you. I have Reese checking in. Reese says, hey, my spooktacular friend, hope you are having another great night. You are absolutely amazing, fantastic, and incredible. You always are great. I am sending that right back to you, sweetie. I love you, and I hope you are having a fantastic Thursday, my amazing friend. Thank you so much for hopping on here. All right, Luna is suggesting we talk about pets. I'm always ready to talk about pets, baby. All right, so if you guys are new to the world of Sydney, I have two labs. I have a yellow lab named Lexi, whose 12th birthday is next week. And I have a 2-year-old chocolate lab named Muffy, and she is a crackhead. She's amazing. They are both amazing. They are both infirmed at the moment, unfortunately. Muffy was playing and played a little bit too rough and kind of ripped her one nail a few days ago, and she was doing better, and then today she won't put any pressure on it. So we made a vet appointment. Hopefully it's not infected, I hope. But she's really in pain. I feel really bad for her. And Lexi's on the end of another ear infection, which she gets frequently, I think from swimming in the pool. She gets the doggy version of swimmer's ear. So she's almost through her eardrops this time. But the two of them need to just be well and be happy. So, and I'm still missing my little boy. I had a guinea pig named Stanton Amadeus Fluffernutter, and he was amazing. He was the best, but he passed in February, so I have a guinea pig-sized hole in my heart for that little guy. And Luna Project says, I have a new kitten, yay! Aside from my other cat, Mushu, the little kitten literally brought home a kitten. I saw your post, sweetie. It was so cute. Does the new kitten have a name? Because he's very, very sweet. What kind of pets have you guys had over your lifetime? Because I've had dogs and I've had cats, but I've also had a pot-bellied pig. His name was Ebenezer, and he was all black. He was adorable. I've had a hamster. I've had, what else have I had? I've had fish. I actually won a fish in a fair where you would throw the ping pong ball into the fish bowl, and I won the fish, and I thought it would probably live 2 or 3 days. He lived 11 years. His name was Slick, and that thing, you couldn't kill that fish. So Luna Project says she is Freya. That's such a pretty name. I like that. And she also said she wants to see pictures of the pig. I will definitely post pictures of Ebenezer. My mom would dress him up for Halloween in like a hula skirt, and he had a flower behind his ear. So cute. So cute. Oh, Reese says, I have an 8-year-old cockapoo named Maddie. I love her to death. She doesn't know she's a dog, too. She thinks she's a human. Oh, I want to see pictures of Maddie. Oh, how cute. I just love animals. I love all kinds of animals. I had pet chickens in college until we got caught and they made us get rid of them. But it was me, my roommate, and my bestie across the hall. We had Cosmo, Gizmo, and Alex were our baby chickens, and they had no business being in a college dorm room. They just would poop all over the place. But Luna's asking, did they lay eggs? No, they never got that big. We had them, they were like teeny tiny because I think the feed store was selling them for 50 cents or 99 cents in town. So that's where we got them. And we brought them back to the dorm room thinking this was a good idea. And they may have actually been roosters. I'm not sure. We had to rehome them, and they went to my friend's farm where they had an incident with a fox, and that was the end of Gizmo, Cosmo, and Alex. Very sad. But I like to think that they would have laid eggs given the opportunity. I have friends now who have chickens, and I would love to have chickens, but I'm afraid Muffy would not play nice with chickens. But I think that they would be super cool to have. And I feel like a lot of people got chickens during the pandemic, and now there's probably like orphan chickens that need homes, and I would adopt an orphan chicken if I thought that Muffy would play nice with it, but I really don't think that she would. She's too cuckoo. And Luna says it depends. Her cousin has chickens and has dogs. Yeah, Muffy has a history. So she's she when we first got her when she was little, she would dig up bowls out of the yard and they would meet Jesus. And then I found like a bird and it met Jesus, and a bunny that also met Jesus thanks to Muffy. So I really wouldn't trust her with chickens in the backyard. I think that they would all be on their way to the promised land rather quickly once Muffy got a hold of them. So the Luna Project says, and horses actually, so it's more of a farm situation. Okay, that's cool. That's one of my dreams. If I win the lottery, I would love to get a humongous plot of land where I can adopt all of like the animals that are old and unwanted in shelters, like, and just care for them in their golden years, because there's so many animals in need and I would just love to adopt them all. Like, I'm not even picky what kind of animal it is. I just love animals. So I've got a few more people joining us now. Please, in the comments, let us know what kind of pets you've had through your life. Have you had an unusual pet? You know, like I know my cousin has snakes that are super cool. And Frank, the one snake, has a little top hat. And I love when Frank wears his top hat. He's just such a dapper little gentleman. Reese says, if you win the lottery, come to Monroe. We have lots of farmland, especially where I'm at. Absolutely, I will. 100%. And if you have cows, bonus. Like cows, I love cows. I collect cow stuff. And I would just love to snuggle a cow. When I was in Girl Scouts, we were supposed to go horseback riding one day. And they took us to the farm and the horse was sick. So they stuck us all up on the cow. And it wasn't, I wouldn't say we rode the cow because the cow really didn't go anywhere. It just sat there smacking us with its tail. But I didn't care. I got to be on a cow. It was super cool. Oh, yay. Here's Shaq. Shaq Attack. Says, I had a pet rabbit. What was your rabbit's name? Rabbits are cool. And was it like a floppy-eared one, or was it like a little bunny foo-foo kind of bunny? Bunnies are cool. They've got those little faces, like guinea pigs and bunnies have similar faces. And it just reminds me of Max and Ruby. If any of you have kids that are older now, maybe they grew up watching Max and Ruby, because my kids used to watch it into the ground. And I always wondered where their parents were. Why were there no parents in that show? Oh, of course, the bunny's name was Bugsy. How cute is that? I love it, Bugsy. That is awesome. Yeah, I never had a bunny. One of my besties had two bunnies, and when I went over to her house, the one boy rabbit, like as soon as I said hi to him, he started stomping his feet. He got all pissed off. I was like, "Oh, excuse me, I was just trying to greet you." Let's see here. The Lunar Project says, I used to have snakes, ball python named Zeppelin, boa named Orion, and another boa named Cleopatra, and one named Lennon. That's so cool. I also had a veiled chameleon, red-eyed tree frog. McPatrick? Was that the tree frog's name, or is a McPatrick another type of animal? Leopard geckos, Leopold, and some other reptiles. Wow. That's a whole menagerie you got going on there. That's pretty cool. And her cousin's neighbor had a skunk. I actually knew people growing up that had a skunk named Wesley, and he was distinct, so you could like go play with him. They had ferrets too. Ferrets are really cool. I always wanted a ferret, but I never had one. I ferret sat once, and it was allergic to dust, and it would climb under my bureau, and you just hear because there was like dust balls under there. I felt bad. But he was cool. I can't remember that ferret's name. But they're really cool too. Like there's just so many different types of animals with so many different types of personalities, and they're so fun. Like I just love my pets so much. They're my family. You know, my girls, they like snuggle with me. We're a pack. So I just love them. And she says they're like cats, but their fur is heavy, if you know what I mean. Like a real thick coat. Is that what you mean by like heavy fur? That's cool. I'm assuming you mean the skunk, not the frog that's name was McPatrick, which I like. It's like an Irish frog. His name's McPatrick. That's really cool. I had a friend growing up who had a little baby shark. I mean, I guess it was full grown, but he was like little. And his name was Bob. And then Bob passed away, so she got another one, and that was Bob Jr. And some people do that. They have the same name for multiple pets. I could never do that. Like, it's, you know, it's that pet's name. I wouldn't name another pet the same name, but your pet's your rules, man. Oh, Lunar Project says McPatrick, she got on St. Patrick's Day. Okay, that makes sense. I should probably claim Todd the Toad as one of my pets because he's still showing up at the back door. And this toad has a death wish. Like, I don't know why he keeps showing up at the slider. Maybe there's like a bug buffet going on down there, so it's like easy pickings. But he just sits there staring at my house. He's a creeper. And the dogs go after him, and he still shows up every night. And the one night when Dave and I took him across the street, and he came back. Like he's on a mission, but I don't understand what a toad would want with a sliding glass door. But I said to Dave, maybe he sees his own reflection and he thinks it's I'm guessing Todd's a boy. I didn't pick him up and investigate, but maybe he thinks that there's another toad looking back, and he's got the hots for that toad. So maybe it's unrequited love that brings this toad back to my back deck all the time, but he will not go away. So I hope he's enjoying his life. Let's see here. Luna Project says, Luna, the picture I had was Luna Lamore, and Dexter was my black cat. Oh, his full name was Dexter Doolittle Moore. I love that. That's so cool. I used to have a black cat, and her name was Desdemona Vivica because I thought it sounded really witchy, and I liked that. And then I had another cat named Jerry and another cat named Cheyenne. So names all over the place. But yeah, I had dogs growing up. My parents had wiener dogs. So we had Red Baron, who was actually my parents' wedding gift. Like they got when they were married in 1969, and he lived a good long time. And then we had Sammy, who was another wiener dog. And Sammy was a crackhead. So they wound up rehoming Sammy to a truck driver, and Sammy would sit in the windows at the top of the cab and look out like loving life. So I was really glad he got, adopted by a great family. And then they got a wiener dog that they rescued, and his name was Good Boy. And I wanted to change his name so bad because that's got to be like mentally taxing on the dog. Like if he messes up and you're like, bad boy, good boy. And he's like, am I bad? Am I good? I don't know what's going on. Like you could break the poor dog's brain. Plus it's just a stupid ass name. And then they had another wiener dog named Carmen. Yeah, Carmen. That was his name. And he just humped everything, which is like ridiculous when it's a tiny little wiener dog just like humping around. It cracked me up. Yay, Steve is checking in. He says, my first dog was Blackie, which we only had for about 2 weeks, and he was traded in for Blackie 2, who was also a beagle, but not black. So your family is doing the naming the dogs the same thing, right? Is that Blackie and Blackie 2? Not Blackie Jr., Blackie 2. I like that. But it was a beagle named Blackie? That's interesting. I would think of like I picture a different type of like one of those Scotty dogs that wears the little red kerchief. Like that I picture a Blackie. So let's see here. All right. So to switch gears here, I was thinking earlier of what we could talk about tonight because I am trying to move things, to relate to the book a little bit. But I have so much fun talking about all kinds of things. So we kind of get off the rails a little bit. But I was thinking about the Olympics and, I'm not getting into any of the controversy. That's not why I'm bringing it up. What I'm bringing it up is because I share a story in here about when the Olympics were in Australia in the year 2000. There was a regular customer. I was bartending at the time. And he came in all the time, saw him, knew him by name. And we were just sitting there and the Olympics were on the TVs in the bar. And he goes, I really got to get to the Olympics this year. And I was like, why? And he goes, so I can tell everybody I was in Sydney at least once. I was like, all right, points for the personalized pickup line, sir, but it's not going to happen. So I was thinking of pickup lines. And have you guys used them? Have they been used on you? What's your best pickup line? What's the worst one that you've heard? And that one he got, I comped him a beer for that because that cracked me up. But most of the ones that you hear, like I used to come up with my comebacks for, like if a guy was like, what's your sign? I'd be like, stop, closed, or, what's another one that you hear all the time? I'm trying to think, but the typical ones, if I could rearrange the alphabet, I'd put you and I together. Like, do people still use these lines? Or are we just like on to where you say hi and then you get a dick pic in your DM? Like, thankfully I'm not in the dating realm right now. And I'm so scared because, I'm so scared for all of you who are, because the stories that I hear are like terrifying. So I'm sending everyone good juju who is in the dating realm right now. But do you still get pickup lines? Let's see. And Steve says he's scared Alfie because he LOL'd out loud at the been to Sydney joke again. Alfie's his little pup who is so cute. Alfie is such a good boy. Yeah. So another one of my favorite pickup lines was, do you like apples? And then when they say, yeah, you say, I'm going to fuck you tonight. How do you like them apples? No, I'm just kidding. Don't say that one. That one will get you slapped. I used to hear the one guy in the bar was like, is your dad a terrorist? Because you the bomb, baby. That one cracked me up too. That was a good one. I kind of picture pickup lines being more like from the 70s and 80s than now. But I don't know. Maybe they are still being used. Put them in the comments. You guys know some. Don't be shy. Let me think of another one that I heard. Man, there's so many. Like, my face leaves in 2 minutes. You better be on it. That's another one I don't recommend that you use. Do you have a quarter? My mom told me to call her when I fell in love. Again, that one's kind of outdated now because there are no payphones. So maybe these are just like a thing of the past. Does anybody in here, like, are you on dating apps? Like, do you have any stories of actually meeting someone nice on a dating app? Because all I ever hear are the horror stories, but I figure they're around, so they have to be working for somebody. I was getting emails for years from farmersonly.com because we were watching the commercial one night and somebody, my husband, thought it would be really funny to like make an account, like just to see who was on there. So me, half in the bag, was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Dear Lord, I got more emails from farmersonly.com. Let's see here. Yeah, Luna Project says there's one I sent you a while back trying to think of how it went. I remember you sending it to me. Oh, I hope one of us remembers. Because some of them are really clever. Most of them are corny, but some of them are really clever. And I'm wondering if Farmers Only is even around anymore because they have that reality show, Farmer Wants a Wife. And I've never brought myself to watch that. But it's kind of like makes you think of the song The Farmer in the Dell. Like I sing that every time I see the ads for Farmer Wants a Wife. But somebody's got to be the cheese and wind up standing alone at the end of the show. But I think that's why we may have been evolving so fast in dating that's why these reality shows have come to be, but they've kind of gone too far now. I watched The Golden Bachelor. I never watched The Bachelor. I never watched The Bachelorette. But I watched The Golden Bachelor because one of the contestants is from nearby where I live. So I wanted to cheer her on. And I kind of got wrapped up in that because it was older people and it didn't have a lot of the drama and the cattiness and all that I've seen in the ads for the other shows. And believe me, I understand that's how they get viewership, is making it all crazy, but they seem to genuinely like each other and hang out with each other for the most part. And social media now is reflecting that they still do. So I'm kind of like, well, that's cool. At least it was kind of like summer camp for older people, and now they're still hanging out. So, oh geez, yeah. Shaq says the Craigslist killer turned her off to all the dating apps and stuff. I don't blame you. Being way too scared. I would be too. Because there's some crazy freaking people out there. And that's another thing. Does anybody use Craigslist anymore? Because that kind of went with all the cuckoo people on there. It's you can't. I feel like the mom that's this is why we can't have nice things, or now nobody's gonna get it because it's everything gets ruined by the crazy people. Even Facebook Marketplace now, I'm scared to list things on because there's so many cuckoo people on there. And you don't, even when I was listing things, I would have them meet at, a public place. And usually if you, sorry, I just read a comment. A good place to meet people for Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist is to say, I'll meet you in the parking lot at the local police station. Because then if they are a creeper, they will not in a million years meet you in the police station, and you'll know, and that's good. Okay, Luna Projects with a pickup line. It says, are the seat warmers on? Because I want to make sure your dinner is warm. Nice. I never heard that one. That's funny. Oh my goodness. Yes. It says, I do remember when I was younger in the high school and middle school, there were chat lines. Oh, chat lines. I don't remember. I remember online there were message boards, or AOL had chat lines. On AIM there were all those little sub chats you could get in. That had some wacky people too. And I've seen a lot of those people wind up on the true crime shows that I watch. Talking in the chat rooms. You got to be careful. why are so many people so dangerous and crazy? Like, why can't we all just have fun? You know, people just take it too far into cuckoo land. So if you are in the dating app universe or doing that right now, just please be careful. You know, meet in public places. Definitely, like, don't give out too much of your real info at first because you don't know. You don't know what people are going to do. And it can get real dangerous real fast. So it's always better to be safe than polite, you know, because I know a lot of us were raised to not rock the boat, to always smile and be nice, you know, and sometimes that can get you into a world of danger. So don't be afraid to be like, nope, no, it's not your business, you know. So what else is going on in the world, folks? What is going on in your Thursday night? You up to anything fun? What's a good movie you've seen lately? I just saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and I liked it. Um, and that was the first time I was in the theater in a while. I was on a tear there for a little bit, going like every Tuesday because that's when the tickets and the food's cheaper. But it's been a while since I saw a movie in the theater, so it was kind of nice to be back and have my large popcorn with my Locatelli that I sneak into the theater to put on my popcorn, um, and just enjoy a movie theater movie. Steve says he watched Somewhere in Time again for the first time in 35 years. I'm not sure I've ever seen that. It's not ringing a bell. Well, excuse me. What is it about? Put it in the comments. So if, I'm having a brain fart, I can go, oh, yeah. Steve and I have actually been in the movie theater together. And we saw, what was it? It was The Wall, but it was like that special edition with, it's like Roger Waters talking out his ass about something, but then they'd have the concert part. And I really enjoyed the concert part. We went and saw it in the IMAX, and it was really cool. But Roger Waters, The Wall. That's what I thought. And I enjoyed the concert parts a lot, but then it would like pan to him talking, and the two of us were just like, bring it back, bring back the show. And I think afterwards he sold it on DVD for like a ridiculous amount of money. And I'm like, who the hell's going to buy that? Let's see. Yeah, Steve said with his anecdotes about the dad he never met and anecdotes that didn't even mention his father. Yes, all the anecdotes. So what is the worst movie you've ever seen? Yay, Johnny's hopping on. Hey, superstar. Hey, buddy. So happy you're on saying hi. Speaking of movies, Johnny hopped on just in time because I am super excited to be in a movie that he's creating. And I don't know how much more I can say about it, but super duper excited. Stay tuned for my big film debut. I'm super duper excited. Did I mention I'm super duper excited? Yes, it's going to be so cool. Awesome. Okay, but that's going to be a tremendously awesome movie. So right now we're talking about the worst movie that you ever saw. And Steve says, House of the Dead, no hesitation. Another one that's not ringing a bell. I'm going to have to start writing this shit down so I can like see what this is about. And say whatever I want. Okay, I will once we're done talking about terrible movies because I don't want to confuse people. Lunar Project says, I love The Wall, the one that's animated with Bob Geldof, not worst movie. Yes, the Wall, the original one, is super awesome. I have yet to see it sober, but I have seen it a few times, and awesome movie. Definitely a classic. I think everybody needs to see it at least once because it's just a really cool movie. Yes. So I'm trying to think because I've seen some really horrible movies. But to say which one is the worst, let's see. There was one that was supposed to be really, really good. And I hear people talk about it all the time that they love it. And maybe have you ever watched a movie and you're just not in the right mind space for it? So it can be a really good movie, but you think it sucks because you're just not there. I'm wondering about that because I think it was called Wolf Creek, and like people love it, and I just thought it was horrible. But maybe I should go back and give it another look. Let's see. Luna Project says, worst movie. Anthony Hopkins was in Human Stain. Nicole Kidman was in it. Human Stain. I never even heard of that one. Oh, cool. And Johnny's saying, Frankie James is the next guest on the brand new episode on Sunday, which is the mini series that I'm hosting for Johnny's comics, which I don't have in here. They're up on my desk. 25 years of Johnny Necro and the Frozen Dead. So if you have not seen that show that I'm doing for Johnny, you got to check it out because it is so much fun. We have a blast. And Frankie, who you know, my producer, my friend, is the guest on this upcoming episode. So you don't want to miss that. Let's see. Bird Box was horrible. Shaquilla says, yeah, I never saw it. I saw the memes. I never watched it. So let's see. Cluckers in Life, here to show support. Have a great time. Thank you so much. Thank you for checking in. That is awesome. You know what else was a terrible, terrible movie? Hot Rod. And that's another one that people like. And I remember Dave and I watched it and we were like, that was 2 hours of our life we'll never get back. It was so bad. But let's see. Luna Project says, I didn't care for The Crow Part 2, which had Iggy Pop. You saw it for free in New York City and wanted my time back. Yes. Yeah, that's how you know it's bad, when it's like, I don't even want my money back. I want my life back. Like, that was time wasted. Hey, Crystal. Thanks for joining. Join late, join whenever you can, sweetie. It's so good to see you in the comments. Thank you. We are discussing the worst movie that you have ever seen. So far we have Bird Box, we have Human Stain, which I've never seen, House of the Dead, and let's see here, and The Crow Part 2. So there's got to be like some that are just classically horrible, and some that people love that are just terrible. John Travolta, Battlefield Earth. Now that I feel like I've heard of, but again, I've never seen it. And I feel like I've seen a lot of movies, but then I start talking to you guys and I feel like maybe I haven't seen as many as I think I have. Let's see. There's so many just terrible movies. But you know what was really bad? And this is like, everybody's going to go, well, duh, of course it was. Kung Fu Panda 2. And the reason why it was so bad was because Dave and I took, I think, 6 or 7 kids to go see it. And between tickets and snacks and everything, we spent almost $300 for that waste of our life. It was so bad. And we paid way too much. So that one always pops into my head when I think of really, really terrible movies. Luna Projects didn't like Pulp Fiction. Really? Maybe I wasn't in the right mindset. You definitely have to be in the right mindset for a Quentin Tarantino film. And that one, I think you should give it another shot, because that's one that, you know, for pop culture reference and stuff, like, give it another shot. And if you still don't like it, then it's just not for you. But that one's a classic. And Shaq says, Evil Dead is a classic, but it's not good to me. Now, I love Evil Dead 2. I love Army of Darkness. I love, love, love Bruce Campbell. But the first Evil Dead is not my favorite. I absolutely prefer the second one and Army of Darkness. And I even loved Ash versus Evil Dead, the show. Like, enjoyed the shit out of that. So I'm with you there. Let's see. Steve says Laser Blast, low-budget sci-fi whose only claim to fame was some pretty interesting low-budget stop-motion. I think that's Aliens. I've never heard of that one. Luna Projects loves Kill Bill. That's another great one. Those 2 movies, right? It was a 2-parter, if I'm remembering correctly. So that's pretty cool. More Tarantino. Steve loved Bird Box. So we have 2 ends of that one. I still have not seen it. Yep, and Lunar Projects loved Evil Dead too. That's one of my favorites. I absolutely love that movie. It's another one I quote all the time. And I quote stupid shit though, because I'll just be like, sure ain't no road, like Bobby Joe's line. And I love that that was Cassie DePava because I used to watch One Life to Live, the soap opera, and she was Blair on that, the second Blair. So I love that that was her because when I saw her, I'm like, that's Bobby Joe. Let's see. And Army of Darkness, absolutely. This is my boomstick. Love that. I actually met Bruce Campbell and wore my Army of Darkness shirt when I did. And it's an orange shirt with Bruce holding up the gun. This is my boomstick. And he's like, I love your shirt. And I was like, thanks. I don't let every guy on my boobs. And he called me a vile woman. So I have that. Bruce Campbell called me a vile woman. So yes, Bobby, Joe. Such a great movie. I love Evil Dead too. Just, even groovy. Like, there's so many classic lines, and Bruce Campbell is the only one who could have played Ash. Like, he's fantastic. And I've read his first book, and I'm halfway through his second book. I don't know why I never finished it. Probably because I saw something shiny. But yeah, he's really one of a kind, unique actor, and the only one that could have played Ash that way. And if you haven't seen it, there is Evil Dead the musical, and I've seen it twice, and it's hilarious. If you're a fan of Evil Dead 2, you would absolutely love it. The first few seats, like rows of seats, they call the splatter zone. And while they're on stage and they're wrestling around and everything, there's actually like shooting blood at each other. So you can get, get shot with the blood if you're in the front few seats. And Dave and I were there and we were like, oh, okay, that wasn't that bad. Like, we had a little bit of splatter on us and everything. At the end of the show, the ceiling just opened up and blood rained down on all of us. And we had to drive home like that. It was hilarious. But it was kind of like being on You Can't Do That on television and saying, I don't know. Like, it just all over. And it was on my sandals for weeks. Like, I scrubbed them. I couldn't get it off. It was hilarious. But the songs are hysterical. And the whole play is just, it's really fun. If you like campy humor, like if you like Evil Dead 2, I highly recommend seeing the musical if it comes around. Johnny said, I'm so excited the first scene for our movie was filmed in Tennessee, just like Evil Dead. That is awesome. And that I was talking to my friend earlier today about that, Johnny, about how we're all filming in different places and you're just getting it all together like movie magic. I'm so excited for this. It's going to be so cool. And it is, since I was given the green light to talk about it, it is Curse of the Ghost Rider. I can't wait. If you guys ever catch my show that I co-host on Saturdays, usually I was so bummed to miss it this past week, but with Reaper and Human the Hoof Beast, Reaper's going to be in the movie as well, which is super duper cool. All right, Steve's giving me a YouTube link. I honestly don't know what'll happen if I click that, so I'm not gonna, because I don't know what StreamYard does with YouTube links, and I will check that out after the fact. Why don't you send that to me in a message, or please tell me what it is, because I don't know what it'll do if I click on it. That's so funny. It was really a cool time when my kids got old enough to enjoy the Evil Dead series, so I could share that with them, and now they quote it too. Okay, I'm dying. So I told Steve I'm not touching the link because I don't know what'll happen. So now in the comments I'm getting, touch it, and then I'm getting, oh, hi Erin, thank you for hopping on. So Steve says, touch it, then he says, touch it in capitals, and then I get, touch it. I'm not touching it. Okay, it's clips about laser blast. All right, I will check that. See, now if I touched it, I would have gotten laser blasted. Can't trust any of y'all. So Aaron is joining us just in time. We were discussing movies, and Aaron is the creator of The Legend of Bloody Bones. I'm sure he won't mind me giving him a shout out, which I'm super excited to see. Johnny's providing the soundtrack. It's all linked I love it. I love this community. I love you guys so much. Um, and it's been fun, like being able to help each other out on all of these projects is so fun. And you guys are great. And Steve keeps giving me YouTube links, and I'm going to punch him with love right in the nose. Stop with the YouTube links. Lunar Project says, push the big shiny red button, the red candy-like button. Yeah, I know Ren and Stimpy. I knew exactly what that was. Will Stimpy touch the red candy-like button? Was that in Space Madness? I think that's like one of my favorite episodes. You covet my ice cream bar. You cannot have it. I love Ren and Stimpy. Okay, so it's why can't I touch it? Is that the Steve, why can't I? What is that? Why can't I touch it? I'm not touching it. I'm going to be channeling Space Ghost, and I can't think of his name, but don't touch me. Don't. Let's see here. Yes, Luna Projects is confirming that that was the Space Madness episode. I used to quote that all the time when I was a counselor at summer camp. We would watch Ren and Stimpy on Saturday nights because that was the only night we didn't have campers. And so I think Ren and Stimpy, and I think of a happy memories in my life. Aaron says, all the upcoming movies are going to be a blast. Absolutely. I cannot wait to see them all. And Luna Projects can do a good Ren. Okay, you're going to have to send me a video of that. I want to see this. And I love Stimpy. And I loved all the side characters in that too. You know, would you like to buy some rubber nipples? No, I would not. That was a great show. That was ahead of its time, I think. There were some good cartoons back then. That's when Beavis and Butthead was good, when they used to have the music videos. Because I heard that the new episodes don't have the music videos. And that was always my favorite part. Because that was what we were all doing too, sitting home watching MTV and making our own commentary on what was going on the screen, you know. Yes, Luna Project's the horse. No, sir, I would not like that. And wasn't there like a seal that was like, call the police? I'm kind of picturing that too. Oh, yes, Eon Flux. And Aaron says, I miss pop-up video. I loved pop-up video too. But yeah, Eon Flux, like with her hair, that was like, she was so cool. That was a good show. And even like Daria, when that first came out, I like that. I'm trying to think of what else was around that. A walrus. Yeah, so I think it was a walrus that's like, call the police. I knew it was a sea animal of some sort. Let's see. Oh, Aaron with Liquid Television. Yes. Liquid Television was awesome. I know I referenced on the goddamn program once Turkey TV, and that was on Nickelodeon, and a lot of people don't remember that. But that was kind of like clips of things, and that's where I learned about cow farts having methane that was killing the ozone layer, which was what we were talking about on the goddamn program. But I learned that watching Turkey TV. And I'm trying to remember any of the other clips from it, and I can't. Yes, Lunar Project says Beavis and Butthead, South Park, of course, Simpsons. I also love Family Guy. Yep, and Aaron is confirming it was a walrus and a horse that whispered, call the police, is from Ren and Stimpy. Yep, that's what we were talking about, the different Ren and Stimpy side characters, and I could just remember, call the police. It's so funny. And I remember Stimpy being Rapunzel, but he had the long nose hair. I remember that episode too. That was so funny back then. I'd love to rewatch those. I think they're probably on Paramount Plus, because I think that's where a lot of those old shows wound up. There's so many things though that they've just like deleted, and it's so sad. Like they should have saved them somewhere. I think they were saying 30 years of MTV that they deleted, and like, but it wasn't like the last 30, so it was like the good stuff, you know. Maybe it was 20, but even still, like there's the past 20 years of it haven't really been MTV. They've been garbage. So if you're going to delete anything, delete, Ex-Boyfriend Island or whatever they're showing on there now. All right. Luna Projects is also adding King of the Hill. Love Family Guy. Aaron says, powdered toast, man. My one daughter says that all the time. I know exactly what you're talking about. That's hilarious. And Luna Projects love the fart episode. And she also says, John Crisfalci was brilliant. Is that the creator? I don't know that name. Please enlighten me. I love to learn. Lizzie, hi, sweetie. So glad you're hopping on here too. That's awesome. So happy you guys are joining me tonight. This is so much fun. There were so many good cartoons growing up, like being little, that I remember back when it was still Saturday morning cartoons were the only time that you could watch them. And, you'd get your bowl of cereal and you'd sit in front of the TV and, it was always the Smurfs, or we had, and then the Snorks, if you remember the underwater Smurfs, which is pretty much what the Snorks were. There was a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon I remember loving that was on Saturday mornings. And so was, I think they were called the Real Ghostbusters, where Slimer was part of the gang. I used to love that too. But there were so many, like cartoons, and you'd have to wait until Saturday morning to watch them, because the only other time all year that you really got to see cartoons was the Thanksgiving special, the Christmas specials, like the Halloween specials. And that was really cool because then you could watch the cartoons and it wasn't a Saturday. And I remember getting popcorn and just waiting for where it said special, and it would like spin, like the rainbow would be like special, and you knew it was going to start, whether it was like the Snoopy Halloween special, or it was just so exciting because it wasn't at your disposal at any time. You had to wait to watch it. And it was so cool. Luna Project says, I nicknamed my cat Powdered Toast Cat because he loves toast. That's cute. And Johnny says, we just watched the entire Dungeons and Dragons series on YouTube a while back. That's cool. I didn't know it was on there. I would check that out again. Luna Project says, Looney Tunes, of course, are classic, or Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner, Tom and Jerry, all classic. Love those. Still actually reference a lot of that. There'll be just a scene from it and it'll just come up in conversation. That's awesome. Aaron says, two of my favorite old cartoons, like He-Man, minus like He-Man. Okay, gotcha. Was Brave Star and Silverhawks. Okay. Brave Star was on before I went to school. And I used to put it on when I was getting dressed for school. And I'd be in my room like, Brave Star, I have the puma strength of the bear. Like I know exactly what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And then Scooby-Doo would come on too. And Scooby-Doo was freaking awesome. And all of the guests like Scooby-Doo and the Addams Family, stop it. How cool is that? Or like the Harlem Globetrotters, come on now. That episode was classic. Gotta love some Scooby-Doo. Yes, Luna Projects, The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and The Grinch That Stole Christmas, the original. Absolutely. And she also says Scooby-Doo was a must. 100%. And there were the different openings, like to Scooby-Doo. You could tell the different seasons by the opening credits, because sometimes they'd play the whole song and sometimes they'd play the cut song. But, like if Scrappy was going to be on, Scrappy-Doo. Stop it. Oh, Johnny says, Great Ape. Great Ape is another classic. What was, they had like all of the characters and they'd do different contests. Like they'd have races and they'd have like the hot air balloon race. And it would be, I can't think of the dog's name now, but it was like Snidely Whiplash. And yes, the Laugh Olympics. Thank you, Johnny. I knew you would know. Aaron says, Thunder the Barbarian. That sounds familiar, but I can't picture that one. But yeah, the Laugh Olympics were so fun because they'd have all those different contests, and you always knew like the bad guys would lose, but it was fun to see them trying to cheat and win. That's another, I haven't thought of that one in years. And of course, He-Man and She-Ra. Aaron mentioned He-Man. I used to watch that. I love Skeletor. He was the shit. And my brother's friend had like the Castle Grayskull, like actual toy and all of the different action figures. That was cool. And he also had like all of the original Star Wars action figures and the Millennium Falcon. And oh my gosh, so cool. I used to love those toys so much. And now it doesn't seem like they sell those kinds of things as much. Like there's still Barbie, of course, and like some of those action figures, but the sets, like when we were younger, they don't seem to have the same kind of toys like when we were growing up. And it was so fun to like use your imagination and have them live out these adventures. So if you had like one of those, whether it was a castle or a vehicle, or like what was your favorite toy, or what was one that you wanted that you never got because they were not cheap? Aaron can do Skeletor's voice. Okay, I want to hear that sometime because he was a trip. He was hilarious. I know that, let's see. Luna says, is Barbie still popular though? When I've been in the kids' toy aisle, it's more like Bratz or other dolls. Barbie's definitely never gone away. My youngest had multiple Barbie dream houses and like hundreds of Barbies. Like it was ridiculous. So they're definitely still available. And I think the Barbie movie might have given that a boom again. I haven't seen the Bratz as much in my toy aisle. I mean, I'm not really in it anymore now that my kids are older. But and then Monster High was popular for a while. There was trying to think of their names. But they were really cute. They were like little monsters. Because there was like Frankenstein and Draculaura. That was one of the Monster High ones. Let's see. Who else was it? There were so many. I don't know why my arm is itching so bad. I'm sorry. I keep scratching my arm. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, so Luna Project says, just seemed like when we grew up, Barbie was more popular. Absolutely. And I always I think it was on my 6th birthday, I got Western Barbie, and she's the one that if you push the button on her back, her one eye would wink. I thought that was the coolest shit ever. And I loved all of my Barbies, but I had the Gem doll, Gem in the holograms. I still have her, and the earrings only stopped blinking a couple years ago. So I want to know whatever batteries they put in the Gem dolls, because that thing lasted over 40 years, like without exaggeration. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, mosquitoes most likely is what's making me itch. I think you're right. Let's see here. Shaquilla says, my girls were big Monster High fans and the original My Little Ponies. Yes. One of my besties collected My Little Ponies. And when I would go over to her house, her room had shelves and shelves of My Little Ponies. They were so cool. Oh, and Aaron says Monster High is Lizzie's jam. That's awesome. Yeah, Larissa loved Monster High. And there was one like it's like a skeleton name, but she was her for Christmas, Jesus, for Halloween one year. And that was really cute. Yeah, Johnny said that's because Gem is truly, truly outrageous. Yes. Gem is my name. No one else is the same. I used to love that show. And then, We Are the Misfits. Our songs are better. The evil band. Let's see. Gem, the live action movie was awful. I did not see it, but I heard that. So that's bringing us back around to terrible movies. I like how it's all, Yep, they were the Misfits. I don't know how they got to be the Misfits and not get sued by the Misfits, but yep. We are the Misfits. Our songs are better. Yep. One of them was Kimber. but I can't remember if it was Jem's crew or the other crew. And I think Jem was like a reporter during the day and then like a rock star at night. She had that double life going on. But it's funny because she was always bigger than the Barbie doll, so you couldn't like trade their clothes or anything. Um, yeah, let's see. Dolph is He-Man. Dolph Lundgren? Is he He-Man? Really? I don't think I ever saw that. Have to check that out. Yeah, like they try to make some movies out of toys or cartoons and they fall flat, like the Gem one. But then like the Scooby-Doo series did fantastic. And coming up in the next few weeks is my interview with C. Ernst Harth, who is an amazing human being. And he has been in, like, if you go to his IMDb page, hundreds and hundreds of movies. So I hate always coming back to the ones he's most known for, but one of his biggest characters was playing the ghost of the Minor 49er costume in Scooby-Doo 2. And awesome, awesome, awesome. So I hadn't seen the movie in years, and then before I interviewed him, I watched it again, and it was just they're fun movies, you know. Even though the special effects now are kind of dated, but they're so much fun to watch, and I really, really, really enjoyed them. Let's see here. So yep, and Frank Langella. I don't know who that is. What else has he been in with Skeletor? I will have to check this out because I definitely grew up on He-Man and G.I. Joe, another great cartoon, you know, because now you know and knowing is half the battle. And the Transformers, used to watch that. Used to watch Voltron. And then there was another one where they, trying to think. So there's Transer Z. Let's see. Oh, okay. The guy that played Skeletor was Sexy Dracula in the 70s. Okay, I'm even more intrigued now. So what I'm going to need to do is like eat healthy and exercise to like make sure I live another 30 years to watch all of the movies that I want to watch, because between my Troma Now subscription and all of these movies that are being introduced to me, like I either need to win the lottery so I don't have to have a job anymore or you know, just live a nice long life so I can keep watching all of these movies because I really want to see them all. There's just not enough hours in the day. But yeah, I was trying to think of that other cartoon. It's like right here, but it's not. I can't think of what it was. But now I got like the Brave Star song stuck in my head. Thanks, Aaron. My sister's on. Hey, Sissy. Thanks for hopping on. We're talking about terrible movies, cartoons, pickup lines, pets. So hop in and join the conversation. Yes, Thunder, 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 Thundercats. Another classic one. That was a good one. And did they try to make a movie out of that? They did make a movie out of that. I remember there was supposed to be one, but I don't know if it ever came to be. Like with, you know, live action Thundercats. That was a while back. I don't know if that ever happened or not. But no. Okay, Johnny's saying no, and I trust his opinion. Okay. I swore I heard they were going to try and make one. I'm glad they didn't, because they probably would have messed it up. What about Josie and the Pussycats? That's another one. And I never got to watch that one growing up because it was on Sunday mornings at the same time as church. So I couldn't watch it because there weren't VCRs then, because that's how old I am. Luna Projects, Rugrats. All right, that's another classic one. Let's see. Loved it. I loved it. Josie and the Pussycats, loved it. Johnny loves lots of cartoons like me, so that's cool. Okay, that's really funny. Steve and his sister were just talking about Josie. What are the odds of that? Because that's not something that comes up all the time. That's not a current reference. So that's pretty funny. In my house, it was definitely Bugs Bunny. We used to watch all the time. And my dad actually had them on film. So he would set up the projector and like the reel to reel and show it. And there was one frame of one of the cartoons where Bugs is getting on a rocket ship and the rocket ship is, like going into space. And one frame they forgot to color. And we knew where it was, and we used to like stop the film and go frame by frame until we saw the one that was missing the color. So that's like a really cool memory I remember. Um, Woody Woodpecker is always a classic too, says Luna. Absolutely. Uh, Steve said we weren't allowed to watch it, or at least I wasn't. Okay, so you weren't allowed to watch Josie and the Pussycats. I wasn't allowed to watch Mighty Mouse because it was too violent when I was little. So I'm surprised I haven't watched every episode of it just because of that. But I just remember being little and not being allowed to watch Mighty Mouse. Barbara Seville is one of my faves. Absolutely. I can just see him, like scrubbing the guy's head. It objectified two-dimensional beings, so my mom was afraid I was going to become an animophile. I don't know what that is. Is that like attracted to animation? I don't know. I like the word though. That's funny. Luna Project's always liked Marvin the Martian. Classic. Yes, absolutely. Johnny says Deputy Dog. That's a good one. And so is Droopy Dog. Let's see. Heckle and Jekyll. Yes, they were the crows, right? And Mighty Mouse. Were Heckle and Jekyll part of Mighty Mouse? I can picture them like talking on the like cans with the string. I don't even know where that memory is coming from, but that's what I immediately pictured when you said it. Let's see. Aaron says Centurion's Power Extreme. I don't know that. They were magpies, not crows. Okay. I need to study my birds. And Luna Projects is agreeing they were magpies. Okay. I can picture them. I just didn't know. But see, I wasn't allowed to watch it. That's why I don't know my birds. There was Foghorn Leghorn and the Chicken Hawk. And I always liked, what were the dogs? It was Spike and, was it the little one that would be like, yeah, Spike, yeah. Because that's what I call Lexi and Muffy. I say Muffy's the little one that's like the crackhead and Lexi's like just milling along. Let's see. Jenny says Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. I remember when they were like all over, when everybody had the wrestlers on. Were they ever on Scooby-Doo? I can totally picture that. And Frisky the cat. Is that the cat's name? I don't think I ever knew the cat's name that was with Spike the bulldog. Let's see. And Luna says, and I can't think of that dog that was in with Frisky on Looney Tunes. There were a couple different ones, I think. Because Spike was with Tom and Jerry, I'm pretty sure. Because he was always sleeping out in the doghouse, and Tom would try to sneak by him, and Jerry would wake him up, and then he'd beat Tom's ass. But yeah, I think that's where Spike was. But then there was another one on Looney Tunes, because bulldogs are funny. But I can't remember his name. But those were so fun. Like, and we never, like hit each other with frying pans or whatever from watching it. We'd try to do the rake thing, where you step on the rake and it comes up and smacks you in the head. That's funny. Luna says like a hound dog. There was a hound dog too, but they're funny too. Hound dogs are cute. They're big long ears. There's a couple in my neighborhood and they just crack me up. They're adorable. They make me think of A Christmas Story with the what the hell is their names that live next door? They eat the turkey. Crap. The bumps. I'll think of it after I get off of this podcast. Yes. Is it Detroit? Was that the frog's name? Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my ragtime gal. I think his name was Detroit. I don't know why I think that, or Michigan. Maybe it was Michigan. Maybe that's why I'm thinking Detroit. Luna Project says there was the sheepdog that would watch the sheep with Wile E. Coyote. Yep. And then at the end of the day, he'd like clock out and be like, see you tomorrow. And he'd have his lunchbox. I don't know his name either, but I do remember the sheepdog. Yes, Michigan J Frog. I knew I was like in the ballpark there when I was thinking Detroit, but it's because it's Michigan. And yes, Aaron says he ended up being the WB Frog. That's absolutely correct. Is WB even around anymore, that station? I can picture it. That had like some obscure sitcoms on it for a while. I don't know that it ever had much of anything else on it, but I remember the WB. I remember the ads for that, and with Michigan J Frog. That's funny. There's been a lot of channels that have kind of come and go, and now we have the streaming services out the wazoo, and they're starting to die off, the ones that aren't as popular too. Okay. Steve says the WB is CW. I don't know why we're changing from one set of initials to another, but I guess whoever bought it wanted it to be CW. That's funny. I don't watch a whole lot of network TV anymore. Like I love Jeopardy and I love Wheel of Fortune. It keeps the Alzheimer's away. I do my puzzle shows, but I watch more of the streaming stuff unless, like it's Family Guy is on TBS or whatever that's on now. But like the NBC, CBS, ABC, I don't watch a whole lot of that anymore. And that's all that was around, when we were growing up. So let's see here. My favorite cartoon of all time was Beaky the Buzzard, aka Killer. Was he the one that was like, my mama done told me to get something for dinner? Is that Beaky? Is that his name? I don't think I ever knew his name. Yes, and my Aunt Chris, Jeopardy is genetic. My dad loves, loves, loves Jeopardy. So that is a true, true fact. Poor man, like all he ever wants to do is watch Jeopardy, and at 7:00 every night, all hell breaks loose. Like, so he can't watch it. We even bought him headphones that attached to the TV. Like this was back in the 90s. And so he could just, like zone out and watch, and something would happen every time that he tried to watch Jeopardy to interrupt him. It's like all he wanted in life was to watch Jeopardy. Let's see here. Oh, okay. iZombie was on CW. Little Project says, I have never seen it, but I remember the ads for it. I can picture the girl. And I did hear that it's really, really a good show. Let's see. I'm not. So I'm trying to picture Aaron singing this, bringing home a baby bumblebee. I know that song, but I don't know it with the beginning part that you have there. That's pretty funny. Oh gosh. And yes, at least he can record it now. Yes, this is true. And Luna Project says you got to see it about iZombie. I will add it to the list. Once again, I need more hours in my day to watch all of the things that I want to watch. And the funny thing is I sit down to watch something and my mind just blanks out. And I'm like, what was I going to watch? I finally have some time to watch something. What was I going to watch? So now I have a Post-it note on my shelf, like where my work desk and all is. And I have so many things written on it. And then like, I'll go to sit down and watch something and I'll look at the list and be like, I don't really want to watch that. And then I wind up watching something I've seen 200 times already. So I really need to just like put them all in a hat and like whatever I pick is what I'm watching, and I can't be a brat about it because obviously I want to watch it or it wouldn't be in the bag of movie titles. Let's see. Supernatural is killer too. Watched that about 2 years ago. See, Ernst Harth is in Supernatural as well. So you'll definitely have to check out my interview with him coming up in the next few weeks. He's such a fantastic storyteller and just a very, very kind human being. So I'm going to keep talking about him because he's super awesome. And the stories he told, I was dying. You got it. I'm excited for you guys. But yeah, there's just so many good things out there. And now that I'm opening the doors to watching more indie films too, like it's just like multiplied it by so much. Like there's so much out there. I knew you were going to ask me, what did he play? I'm going to look it up real quick because I think I know, but I don't want to misspeak because I've never seen Supernatural. So let me see here. Sloth. I was correct. He plays Sloth. One of the 7 deadly sins. I'm sure you know who that is. I have not seen Supernatural, so I'm not familiar with the character, but that is exactly who I was going to say. So I'm glad I remembered. But yeah, he's Johnny says, I got to add a photo of Aaron Markham as his own character to IMDb tonight. Yay, Aaron! I can't wait to check out your IMDb. Mine's growing. It's exciting. It's exciting. I'm just so grateful to have the opportunity to do this stuff. Like, it's just been such a fun ride. And as I keep saying, a year ago, none of this was on my radar. So don't ever think that you missed the boat. You're too old. You know, you don't have the talent, whatever. If you want to do something, just try it. Just try it. Maybe it won't work out, but maybe it will. And whether you kick ass or you make an ass out of yourself, you're going to have a good story either way. So just jump in and try it. I've decided I want to get into pinup modeling, so I'm going to try that. Why not? Who cares? If it doesn't work out, oh well. But I'm going to have fun trying it in all of my spare time that I don't have right now because I have all of these super cool projects going on. But like I said, my plan is I'm going to win the lottery, and then I'm going to have time for all of the projects and all of the films I want to watch and everything. So I'm manifesting it. And until then, I'm just going to keep working hard. So, Erin, there's no comment there, sweetie. Please say it again, whatever. You said it was probably about your IMDb. Definitely want to check that out for sure. So I think it is about that time, my loves. I could talk to you all night, but I need to get up early tomorrow. So I am going to bring our time together tonight to a close. But I want to thank you so much for hopping on here with me tonight. This is so fun. I love our Thursday nights together. Let's see. Luna says, I think you'd look awesome in Rosie the Riveter, kind of Betty Boop. I have some dresses that are kind of pin-up-y, so I'm going to use them because I don't have, the budget right now to buy anything new, but I will keep that in mind because Rosie the Riveter I could probably DIY with some stuff I already have. But Betty Boop was an interesting choice. I'll have to check that out. Okay, and Johnny says he's celebrating. Okay, so awesome. I'm glad. I guess emojis don't come through. But anywho, you guys rock. I love you so much. Thank you for hopping on here with me. And next week, I will be back on. I'm going to be in a different location. So hopefully that will work out. I'm going to bring all my stuff to set up and record and hope for the best. So, and hopefully I will have a guest on next week if I can talk her into it. So make sure you come back and join us then. And until then, just remember to take everything in life head on, because when you stick your head in the sand like an ostrich, you think you're hiding, but the rest of the world just sees a big ass. Love you guys.